Hey guys, we're going to talk about the 1-3-3-1 structure and building blocks of play. I think this format will be very good for us because you need dynamic forwards, not necessarily big forwards. So I think this will be well suited for us. You also need skillful forwards. So let's look at the structure. First of all, let's divide the field in half. And then let's have the 15-yard tram lines down the side. So if you notice, what we have here is number one, we've got a one part of 3 in one half of the field. We've got another part of 3 in the other half of the field. And then we're splitting possibly up back row. It doesn't necessarily have to back row, but what we want here is on the outsides in the tram line supporting the winger is some dynamic players so with finishing speed and pretty good ball handling. Easy structure. This structure will kind of stay the same once we get into open field play. This group of 3 essentially will not leave that half of the field, and this group of 3 hopefully will stay in this half of the field. And same for the wingers. They're going to hang out on the outside unless they're needed to come in and help in a ruck somewhere else that we possibly might lose. So let's work forward and see how this works. Right now, if you notice where this pod is located, they're built outside of 10. So we're going to have a call for that. There's no reason why they couldn't also be set up outside of 9. So, but for this case, we're going to call building outside of 10. We're going to call it Penguin for no good reason other than, to me, pen rhymes with 10, and that's as good as you're going to get. So let's walk through this structure in this case. Let's bring in the defense. So, nice thing is, this part of 3's job is exactly the same as this part of 3's job. In both pods, notice how the middleman is slightly ahead of the other two. That's because the ball is always going to go to this middle guy, the lead guy. This lead guy needs to be a good ball handler and a good decision maker, because he is going to be the one that can make one of possibly 4 decisions. It's that simple. He's got 4 choices to make, and many of them will be pretty simple. Same for this guy. Good ball handler. He's got one of 4 decisions to make, and we'll go through each of those just here in a little bit. So let's walk through how this play would work in a penguin formation. So ball comes out from 9 to 10. Ball then goes to number 2. Number 2 is now the decision maker. So number 2 is attacking this defensive structure in front of them. He's looking for weaknesses in that structure. If there is a weakness, then he's going to exploit it. 10 at the same time is looking for any weaknesses out wide that he may want to call for a backdoor play. But right now, no call's been made. 2 knows he's attacking these guys, looking for weaknesses, and is going to make the call accordingly. And as we advance up the field, number 2's gone a little farther with the ball, and hopefully, as he's trying to read the defense, he's noticed that the 2 defenders on his left have come up flat and have left very little holes. However, number 1 maybe has come up a little flat-footed, and there is a gap here that he can exploit. So in this case, his decision would be to offload the ball to number 1, who is then attacking that hole heavily with the support of 2 and 3 ready for that next ruck. Really, it's quite that simple. Now, what other decisions does this guy have to make? So as he advances the ball, let's say, for instance, in this case, 1 was flat and 7 was a little flat-footed. Well, in this case, the obvious decision to make is to hit number 8 flying through this hole, or possibly, depending on the gap, you might want to attack that hole. Either way, we want to get to this point where we're behind a shoulder of a defense. If we get here, we've got options. This guy's flying through, boom, we're behind the defense. We always want to get, our shoulder behind their shoulder, and it is game on. What else might happen? So what happens if defense plays well? they come up flat in a line. There really is no break here. Well, in this case, number 2, he can attack either shoulder of number 4 and go down, take a ruck, take a maul, because he knows we've got number 1 and number 3 ready to support on that ruck, ready for quick ball for number 9 to come on in, get that ball, and 10 and 12 and 13 are building around the corner. Quite simple. Let's talk about one final decision that the player may have to make in this case. Let's say, for instance, that as we're looking at this, ball goes out to 2, he's attacking. 10 sees a weakness out wide. 10 can call for a backdoor play. And on the backdoor play, 10 has followed the play behind. There's a backdoor pass to number 10, and as we attack around, a nice flat pass to number 12. Number 12's reading this group in front of him. He realizes, I'm going to square these guys up a little bit. Then my job is to hit 13. 13 comes across. Now he sees this big hole that he wants to attack. By this time, 4, 8, and 5 are in support. Again, ball goes to the middle man, and they attack this hole. Now this hole is so big, he's got multiple options on what to do. Quite a simple structure. Hopefully that makes some sense. Well, let's go back to the other. So another option obviously is we can attack with this part at some point. We could, in the same play, we could always backdoor. Let's get this. We always backdoor to 10, who skips to 13, and then we're building off this part immediately for another part. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. We'll talk a little bit more about the structure. I'll break it down into some small pieces. And this is this exciting structure we're going to play this season. All right, thanks. Bye.